Who first imagined the concepts of robots, automata, human enhancements, and artificial intelligence? Historians tend to trace the idea of the automaton back to the medieval craftsmen who developed self-moving machines. But if we cast our nets back even further, more than 2,000 years ago, in fact, we will find a remarkable set of ideas and imaginings that arose in mythology, stories that envisioned ways of imitating, augmenting, and surpassing natural life by means of what might be termed biotechne, life through craft. In other words, we can discover the earliest inklings of what we now call biotechnology. Long before the clockwork contraptions of the Middle Ages and the automata of early modern Europe, and even centuries before technological innovations of the Hellenistic period made sophisticated self-moving devices feasible, ideas about making artificial life and qualms about replicating nature were explored in Greek myths. Beings that were made, not born, appeared in tales about Jason and the Argonauts, the bronze robot Talos, the techno-witch Medea, the genius craftsman Daedalus, the firebringer Prometheus, and Pandora, the evil fembot created by Hephaestus, the god of invention. The myths represent the earliest expressions of the timeless impulse to create artificial life. These ancient science fictions show how the power of imagination allowed people, from the time of Homer to Aristotle's day, to ponder how replicas of nature might be crafted. Ideas about creating artificial life were thinkable long before technology made such enterprises possible. The myths reinforce the notion that imagination is the spirit that unites myth and science. Notably, many of the automata and mechanical devices actually designed and fabricated in Greco-Roman antiquity recapitulate myths by illustrating and alluding to gods and heroes. Historians of science commonly believe that ancient myths about artificial life only describe inert matter brought alive by a god's command or magician's spell. Such tales certainly exist in many cultures' mythologies. Famous examples include Adam and Eve in the Old Testament and Pygmalion's statue of Galatea in classical Greek myth. But many of the self-moving devices and automata described in the mythical traditions of Greece and Rome, and in comparable lore of ancient India and China, differ in significant ways from things animated by magic or divine fiat. These special artificial beings were thought of as manufactured products of technology, designed and constructed from scratch using the same materials and methods that human artisans used to make tools, artworks, buildings, and statues. To be sure, the robots, replicants, and self-propelled objects described in myth are wondrous, marvelous beyond anything fashioned on earth by ordinary mortals, befitting the sublime abilities of gods and legendary inventors like Daedalus. One might consider the myths about artificial life as cultural dreams, ancient thought experiments, what-if scenarios set in an alternate world of possibilities, an imaginary space where technology was advanced to prodigious degrees. The common denominator of mythic automata that took the forms of animals or androids like Talos and Pandora is that they were made, not born. In antiquity, the great heroes, monsters, and even the immortal Olympian gods of myth were the opposite. They were all, like ordinary mortals, born, not made. This distinction was a key concept in early Christian dogma, too, with Orthodox creeds affirming that Jesus was begotten, not made. The theme arises in modern science fiction as well, as in the 2017 film Blade Runner 2049, whose plot turns on whether certain characters are replicants, facsimiles of real humans, or biologically conceived and born humans. Since archaic times, the difference between biological birth and manufactured origin marks the border between human and non-human, natural and unnatural.